Hi everyone. Good morning, good night, and good afternoon. Today we have Web3 Wizard Space again. In the last episode, we have Tim, and at the moment we have Jesse from the Persona DAO. But we not only talk about the ICP or Persona DAO, but we're going to talk about the latest happen in the market. Okay, before I jump to the topic, I want to say hello first to the Jesse. Hey Jesse.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you
Okay.
inviting me on.
Yeah, you can call me Peb, okay?
Okay, Pep.
Okay, yeah. Nice to meet you, Jesse.
Nice meeting you too.
Is my voice clear?
Yep, loud and clear. I can hear you.
Okay. And before we're gonna talk, I want to open it like, you know, uh, right now the market is in good, a bit in good condition. A lot of things happen that, if I'm not wrong, you know, Ordi, like Ordinals, they just got listed on the Binance. The price is jump almost 100% on the date. I want to know your opinion about the current market condition, like your outlook for in this November, because everyone called Upfember.
Yeah, so uh my outlook is that I think we're finally the worst of the bear market is behind us. Um, of course this is all speculation, so none of this is financial advice. But personally, I think the worst of the bear market is behind us. I think Bitcoin has seen its support, its real value within the market. Absent of all the speculators who had invested in Bitcoin, who pushed the price up to around 70K last year. And I'll say why I believe that. I kind of like to keep my ear to the ground. I like to meet and get to know people all over the planet, just so I'm not relying on big media outlets in order to hear news relevant to a specific geographical region. Um, in my experience, the people that I've met and spoken with from countries like Argentina, Lebanon, and a few other places, Turkey, Nigeria. These countries are all kind of abandoning their local currency, their fiat currencies. A lot of them are crashing and burning, and out of sheer necessity, you see people flocking and fleeing to Bitcoin as a way to actually preserve their value, as a way to actually do business, and as a way to actually price commodities and the services that they offer. And so, to me, it feels like we've seen a shift in the press. If you think about 2 years ago, back when even in big media, when they would invite a major hedge fund manager or asset management firm CEO, when they would invite them on to speak about Bitcoin, the narrative was it's a pet rock, it has no utility, there's no intrinsic value. And it's kind of hard right now for me personally. Even if you look, it's hard to find that many Bitcoin skeptics. I think with the wars that are going on simultaneously, causing the United States to inflate and debase its currency out of control, I think people are kind of waking up to the fact that a government-controlled currency, while it may have its use cases in certain situations, one use case that it is not good for is preserving your value. And so, for that reason, I believe that market conditions are changing. I think the bear market has finished, and I think we're on our way to we're well into the next Bitcoin bull run. Of course, we won't know for sure until we see new all-time highs, but that would be my prediction.
Yeah, okay. And I'm agree with you that we are gonna take a new pace to the bull market, but not at the moment, maybe, at the moment we are in the new accumulation.
Okay.
In new accumulation, so maybe after halving 2024 to 2025, I think we can see another 3 digit for Bitcoin, and I hope so. And I forget, Jesse, in the beginning to introduce yourself first. Can you introduce yourself first to our audience?
Yeah, yep. My name is Jesse Williams. I am a software developer, and I am building a product called Personal DAO. So I'm active within the Internet Computer Protocol ecosystem, and the mission of Personal DAO is to be a digital commodity, an entire application that is a digital commodity that can be bought, sold, transferred, owned, operated, governed without the need for any intermediary. And when I say that, I mean the entire product end to end. I don't just mean the financial layer, as in the case with a lot of products that have the name DAO attached to them. Personal DAO is built end to end within smart contract canister software. And so what that means is the user interface, the URL, the API, all the data, every part of the application is stored within contracts. And when I transfer ownership via purchases made by consumers, when I transfer that ownership, the entire product is transferred over to that consumer. And that consumer doesn't need to know how to code. So
Yeah.
My intention, my goal, my mission is to make it so that you don't need to be a university trained software engineer in order to own the digital software that you come to rely on. Up to this point, currently, we live in a world where every piece of software that we have, for the most part, is a service. It's not a commodity. And what that means is we can use it, but we can never own it. The data that we put into it can never be, owned, possessed, custodied by us. That's what I'm looking to change. That's what I'll be changing with the implementation, development, and onboarding of Personal DAO. So
okay, got it. So that's the purpose of your mission with the Personal DAO.
Yep.
And it is okay if I allow Personal DAO stuff. It is different person from you.
Yeah, that's the that's fine. That's the actual team account.
Okay.
I'll be speaking from this account, but I have requested speakership so that people know in this space when I refer to Personal DAO that I'm referring to the one that's also has speaker status. So
and back to the topic again, Jesse, that you have a good vision about the Personal DAO because a lot of non-coder people, like they don't know how to code, they don't know how the language of the code like PHP or anything.
Right.
For example, in the website, at the beginning of a lot of new websites, only few people can create the website, right? But after many new platform, like we can say like Webflow is making easy to us, like you just drag and drop to create a website, and non-coder people can create the website with the good animation, good UI, good UX, and I think it should be applied to blockchains too, because if non-coder can create DApps, decentralized application, I think it will be born a million of new idea because a lot of people have good idea but they can code.
Yeah, that's the bottleneck, right? And the goal is to remove the bottlenecks. Currently, the world we live in is becoming increasingly digitized, so much so to the point where if you were to try to compete realistically in the modern economy without having access to digital goods and services, you wouldn't be able to. And so the fact that so much of our civilization and economies rely on access to different digital products, it means that redefining the way in which we ship and distribute software is going to become a key issue. If we don't find a way to be able to give people access to software without requiring that they need to learn how to code, then what that creates is a recipe for authoritarianism and or control by the few. So to drive the point home, right? Cars. A lot of people have cars and mopeds and motorcycles and all these types of things. Can you imagine if everybody needed to learn how to engineer a car in order to own one?
Yeah,
Nobody would have one. Currently, that's the way that software services work. If you want to engineer a car, if you want to own a piece of software, you need to know how to code. And that's going to be something, that's a huge bottleneck that needs to be removed if we're going to be moving towards a world that's more free, more equitable, and less centralized. So, yeah.
Okay. And JC, where do you come from?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois, United States. I lived there for the first 18 years of my life. After finishing high school, I moved to Central Illinois, so about 2 hours south of Chicago.
Okay.
Where I studied, and then later moved back to Chicago, and then now I'm based 2 hours north of Chicago in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay. In Chicago or your country, it is their ICP Hub on there because I shared it with at the space. The hub is very good good strategy from the ICP to meet like the newcomer and to want to know about the crypto world. So how do you think about this hub? And it's their hub in your country?
There is an ICP North America hub that I'm aware of. I don't know if it's specific to the United States. I think the point is that it's a hub for the North American continent. And then here in Milwaukee, where I live, there's actually a pretty active ICP community, although an official hub has not been established. Although I do believe that'll be changing sometime soon. But there's multiple ICP entrepreneurs that live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin specifically. So I'm in good company here.
Okay, and I look into your account, but not only to your account. A few days ago, we have noise like disappointment from the ICP community and some influencer about the district. Like, you heard about it?
Yeah. I heard. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Because they have a good development and long story. So District was like one of the first ICP products that I got familiarized with. I made an account. I developed, like a nice community there. A lot of my earliest support for personal DAO came from District. And that's also actually where my biggest social media following, follow count at least, exists. So I'm very much a fan of the District product. I believe in the vision, which is to create a decentralized social media platform so that nobody risks disenfranchisement. So we have similar values, my team and their team, and the community has always been good to me. I'm, really disappointed that they won't, that the original team at least won't be continuing development. Yeah.
But I am grateful that I was actually able to build and get to know other people within the ICP community, and so that's actually where I met two of the three other people on my team, I met them on District. So it was definitely a a pillar within the community that I hate to see fall. But if I know anything about the ICP community, I believe that it's very resilient. We still have plenty of other products that are being built and tested and shipped on the IC. And I think as a whole, the community is going to regroup and be all the more stronger for it. So
Yeah.
Onward and upward.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was it.
Okay. And I think I don't know the real reason behind that, but I hope they will make a good decision for this, and I think they will not only stop on the district. Maybe their team or they have the idea in the upcoming, or this is because the condition of the market. Many of good projects fail, and they the one list the number one list of why the project is fail is about the funding, right? It's hard to get funding in during this market condition. And how about this? How about your opinion about if we want to build some, for example, if your platform goes live, we we still need money to build something, right? So to make it happen, and the biggest allocation of project is not only building, but how this project will be run for the marketing and attract people to use the platform. I want to know your opinion about that.
On District specifically or on mine?
No. It's about whole project that's facing this. I think almost project facing this issue at the beginning, or when they're running after finish the project, and the marketing.
I get it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it right.
So more in general, how do you keep from running out of funding? So all right, that's a really good question to which I have a response to. So what I noticed in over the last, since maybe like 2008 or 2009, tech companies just in general have had money thrown at them. Not just Web3 tech companies, but just in general tech companies, to the point where you have some of the largest companies that still aren't profitable. Netflix, Uber, they still haven't turned a profit. Those general market conditions have changed. People are kind of like waking up to how overpowered tech companies are becoming, and not so much money is being thrown at tech companies arbitrarily as it was in the past. I think for a team who's starting out, who's building a tech product, if they want to be successful, they have to return to first principles, standard business models that actually generate revenue and profits for the company. A lot of products, they build and they build and they build, and that's amazing, but they don't stop to think, how are we going to translate our user base into a cash flow positive business. In the case with District, as I said, I am a big fan of District, the product. But one bit of criticism, constructive criticism that I have for the product is that 2 or 3 years of development went by without any attempt to monetize the product that they have created and monetize the following that they had created, which is okay if you have a large funding source that that can afford you that type of time, to remain competitive within the market before you actually start hitting users with with payments or fees or whatever it is that you choose to monetize. But when there's a bear market, when the United States Federal Reserve Bank is raising interest rates, when people are all around, disenchanted with Web3 and tech in general in the broader scheme, you don't have those luxuries. And so in those moments, you have to return to first principles. How is this thing going to make money? It shouldn't be the only thing that you be concerned with, but it is a very important factor of every business. It's so important that it decides whether or not the business is going to be able to persist, over time. So that would be my advice. Make sure you have a plan for making money. A lot of just in my private conversations, I get the sense that a lot of developers they still have the 2015 mindset where they could just go and start coding on a project and it looks cool, and then some VC somewhere would be willing to fund it. Or even worse, they have like a sketchy Web3 mindset where they say, hey, I'm just going to code this and essentially rug people after the fact. I would advise against both of those philosophies and advise that people make sure when you're starting a business that you remember that it's a business, which means that it needs to have some monetization aspect to it that allows you all to persist and keep going and keep coding and keep building and keep changing people's lives. So that would be my advice.
Okay, so that's your advice. And how about you at the current state of the personal DAO? I want to know until what stage you build at the moment.
Okay, good question. So Personal DAO has been under development since September of 2021. So over 2 years now. During that time, we've built a ton of infrastructure, put a team together, built a nice community that we can then begin to onboard to an alpha product.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
That is due to release within the next 60 days or so. My aim is for December, early December, before Christmas. But if that's missed, then sometime, early in the new year. So we're, just around the corner from an alpha launch. I have upgrade architecture put in place that allows me to be able to upgrade, that allows me to be able to offer upgrades to personal DAOs that are deployed to the internet computer without allowing me to have access to the control of those DAOs. I have data storage so users will be able to post pictures and have those pictures displayed. Users will be able to put money into a treasury and offer lending services against their neurons. We're pretty close to an alpha launch right now. I just got to put, the finishing touches on it, and make sure it's put, it's well packaged prior to presenting it to the community. So that we get a good first impression when we finally do release it to the community. So,
Okay.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty close, right? And your product or personal DAO will be in the plan like launch in the SNS?
No. So what personal DAO is? So there are some similarities to the SNS, and I'll tell you the similarities. So what the SNS does, it's essentially a DAO factory, right? It takes an app that a developer has built, and it it wraps it in a DAO, and then it offers it to the public. So with the SNS, you still need to know how to code. And so, that barrier to entry, that coding barrier to entry, is still there. Personal DAO is similar to the SNS in that it creates, it's a DAO factory. And so it creates a DAO that is already pre-built and pre-packaged so that you don't have to know how to code it. And it offers that to consumers. So what it is it's a non-custodial application that anybody can purchase. It's already pre-built for you and nicely packaged. But the difference between this application and an application that a user can just subscribe to is that I don't own it. Me, the developer. Once you retrieve a personal DAO, you and the people that you onboard to that DAO, only you all have control over it. So I can't force any upgrades. I can't shut it down. I can't access your data. I can't manipulate that data. I don't have canister control. I don't control those contracts. And so what that means is, if I were to ever get hit by a bus, God forbid, your personal DAO would still exist. It would still persist. You all would manage, own, and operate it. You wouldn't have to fumble around for, hoping that the team that put this DAO together, that somebody finds a replacement, as in the case with other products that you might see on Plug Wallet. At one point, Plug Wallet was going through a bit of a scramble when the founders of it decided to leave the ecosystem, and everybody who had a Plug Wallet, their assets were uncertain. That wouldn't be the case with Personal DAO because it's completely disintermediated. Your DAO is different from the next person's DAO. They're two disjoint entities entirely. And so two personal DAOs minted, deployed to the internet computer, they have no overlap. If one of them is attacked, if an attacker should be successful, and they breach one, hypothetically, of course, if one is breached, the other is not. They're completely different entities, separate from each other. They have different URLs. That's I'll leave it at that. But that's my input or insight on it.
Okay. And do you have any challenge during build this personal DAO?
Any what? I'm sorry.
Today? Do you facing any issue or challenge that you facing at the moment during build the personal DAO?
The challenges so none of them are existential, right? I keep the team that we have, I keep it small, and that's by design. I keep it efficient by design, and we keep our expenses low so that we don't run into any issues as far as funding drying out. So on the funding side, we're sustainable. As far as the engineering challenges, my biggest challenge was getting a working prototype running, because as I described to you, once I relinquish custodianship, once you purchase a personal DAO, that custodianship no longer rests with me and our dev team. And so delivering upgrades, how do you upgrade it, right? Ideally the person who just bought this personal DAO, they're a non-coder. How do you get those people? They still want their DAOs upgraded at some point as we carry on through development. And so the biggest challenge was finding a way to offer and have upgrades delivered without compromising the sovereignty of the DAO. And so that challenge was overcome back in March or April. I got a working prototype running where I can actually offer, store upgrades and have a personal DAO call the canister that's storing those upgrades, retrieve those upgrades, and deliver those upgrades upon itself. And so by doing that, you maintain the sovereignty of that DAO. That upgrade can only be triggered if the voters and participants of that DAO all come to consensus that they want to receive that upgrade. And so that was my biggest challenge. I worked maybe 18 months, under the hope that I would be able to overcome that challenge. And in April of earlier this year, I finally had got a working prototype running. From that point on, everything is just a matter of doing the work. So I don't foresee, I don't have any known trouble in the engineering challenges that would prohibit me from being able to deliver the vision that it is that I want to create with Personal DAO. And that vision is for any community or family or individual to be able to purchase an app where they can store and custody their assets. And for communities and families, I want for people to be able to conduct peer-to-peer lending services in this closed, gated network just between themselves. And so that way, you know that when you borrow money from people and you pay it back, the lender is a member of your community. Additionally, in addition to peer-to-peer lending, what I want is for people and communities and families to be able to store their data within this network, within this network, without having to worry about some overarching intermediary centralized actor, company, government, what have you, without having to worry about any of them committing any nefarious acts using the data that's there. Nobody outside of that network has access to that data within that DAO. And within that DAO, every user has their own canister smart contract where their personal private data is stored. So those visions, the vision that I have for the product, the lending, the peer-to-peer lending, the disintermediated data storage, and the community decision making, that vision, it's perfectly reasonable. I don't see any engineering challenges or financial challenges that would prohibit me from being able to deliver on that. At this point in time, it's just a matter of time. I believe with the team I have now, I have a long, lengthy roadmap. That roadmap will take me somewhere between 3 to 5 years to complete. And
okay.
So.
Okay. I hope your project will be success according to your roadmap and never miss anyone your target in the roadmap. And I want to ask you about the security that maybe will be the main important thing to build something in this industry, right? Many breach happen, and I want to know your security system on your platform. You will have audited before launch, or you have your own audit people?
Yeah, so we have not had it audited yet. So an audit is in the cards. Right now, we're about to release the alpha. We're going to be testing to make sure that all the obvious low-hanging fruit bugs are resolved, and then we'll enter beta sometime after that. And we'll be in beta until we receive a third-party audit. So the audit is to come, but that's down the road. As far as the security goes, that's a really good question. Architecture. So by design, you mentioned bridges. Bridges are centralized in their nature, meaning that, one company with its own software architecture builds a bridge, and that bridge becomes a huge honeypot where a bunch of value is stored all in the same place. And so with enough eyes on any product, if there's enough eyes on it, there is a possibility that it can be breached. Evidence of this is the fact that different governments all around the world, the CIA, the Mossad, the KGB, or whatever they call it now, all these different agencies, they experience security breaches within their technological infrastructures, of which they employ thousands of people, maybe tens of thousands, and in the case of larger governments, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people to ensure that it's safe. So by design, whenever you have big honeypots, as in the case with DeFi protocols, as in the case with bridges, as in the case with like credit reporting bureaus, and like these types of places, when you have these huge honeypots, by design, that system is less secure because it attracts so many bad actors because of the sheer amount of value that it has resting in one spot. So the architecture of personal DAO by design is more secure because it doesn't centralize the value into a single personal DAO. Remember, I told you earlier that each personal DAO is completely disjoint from the next. And so what that means is, instead of, as in the case with a DeFi protocol or a bridge, where you have hundreds of millions or billions of dollars sitting in one place, all the value that's stored in personal DAO is distributed. So the architecture of it, the fact that it's a distributed system that is where each personal DAO is disjoint from the last, that architecture inherently is more secure. Now, going on to the specific app, each specific copy of the app, each copy of the app is hosted 100% within Canister smart contracts that are built on the Internet Computer Protocol ecosystem. ICP is the crypto spaces, Dfinity, who are the leading developers of ICP. They are the crypto world's largest team of cryptographers, researchers, developers. And so the Internet Computer, any app built on top of the Internet Computer comes with all of the, the security and confidence that exists at the protocol level of the Internet Computer Protocol. And so what my job is as a developer is to create the different functions that exist within those smart contracts. I need to go through and make sure that those functions don't have any breaches. And so what it does is it makes my job a lot easier. I don't have to worry about putting up a firewall because some huge point of attack vector exists somewhere in a blind spot. My fortunately, because I'm coding on the Internet Computer, my concerns are limited to just what it is that I create. And so the things that I've created thousands of lines of code. Myself, I'm not going to be able to audit that code myself. And that for the simple reason that many lines of code, you want as many eyes on it as possible. It would be irresponsible of me to believe that that I can do, as good a job as a team of professional code auditors. Even though I'm qualified to be one code auditor, nobody is as smart as, a group of people. And so that's where the code audit comes in, peer-to-peer code reviews, but also testing. I'm not rushing this process. The alpha version is going to release sometime soon. We will rest in alpha version for a while until myself and the community of people who I seed, who I onboard to the alpha version, until we as a collective have gained enough confidence in the product to be able to say, hey, now we can enter beta. And so that's the security, the architecture, the architecture of personal DAO, but also, the Internet Computer Protocol, but also, myself at the individual developer level. Those are the ways in which personal DAO security is prioritized.
Okay, got it, Jesse. And last but not least, I'm up the tweet that the personal DAO can create. You have a good quote, I think, like money deposit to the third-party banking institution at no point belongs to you, but when you process your own personal DAO, we will transfer full custodianship of the entire DAO over to the buyer. And I think this is need to be shared about this iteration. And can you talk a bit about this tweet from the personal DAO before we end this space?
Yeah. So personally, I think this is the most innovative feature about personal DAO. This is peer-to-peer DeFi lending protocols already exist, right? And apps built 100% on chain already exist, right? There's many on the internet computer protocol ecosystem. The difference is no product has been built to commoditize software. The internet computer offers us this amazing opportunity to commoditize software. We've never had that ability prior. Up until the internet computer's existence, any software that was created, it had to be owned, operated, and managed by a team of coders. And that prevented the commoditization of software. Now that we can actually create products that can be owned, operated, governed, and even transferred without the need to know how to code, it makes it so that software fits the description of a commodity. A commodity is something that you can own, that nobody can, remotely take away from you, right? Your car, when cars are commodities, when you purchase a car, it's your possession. If somebody wants to take it, they have to come and, physically take it from you. They can't just hit a button and poof, your car disappears. That's the case with most software in the world. Pretty much virtually every bit of software, even the ones built on the IC. I've seen a lot of wallets on the internet computer. They'll do this when they have a major upgrade or something. They need to shut down the platform for a while for maintenance. That's a Web 2. That is a Web 2 phenomenon. How can you shut down something that I own for maintenance? If it's really non-custodial, if the funds in here are really my funds, why is it that, when you all have to do maintenance, I can no longer access it? And you all get to decide to perform maintenance on a product that I'm supposed to have custody over, and I get no say so. Just by virtue of them being able to do that alone, it brings us back to reality that, okay, it's built on Web 2, but it's not a commodity. I don't have real control over it. If they were to shut this down, if the person coding this were to be targeted by a government, or have some type of fatal accident, or just lose the will or desire to keep developing on a project for whatever reason, I would no longer have access to this product. If that's the case, then it's not a commodity. True custodianship hasn't been granted, and that's what I aim to change. It's not something that's easy. It's not something you can do by last minute. You have to start from the very beginning and create your product with an architecture that enables you to do this. It's not something that a product can implement after the fact. And unfortunately, a lot of products that we see in Web3. They're still built with these Web 2 mentalities where the code is ours and we give them a little piece of it, right? That's Web 2. I think that's something that needs to stay in Web 2. And as we move on to the future, we need to start coming to expect that we get real governance, control, access, and custody over the entirety of the software collective that we come to depend on for facilitating our lives. And so I know these usually go 45 minutes. I can get long-winded. I could talk about that for hours. Okay. But yeah.
Okay, Jesse, we have a good conversation today, and don't worry, this is not only recap in this space, but I will download the audio and I will upload in other platform too, so everyone can hear about today's conversation. And thank you, Jesse, for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on the space.
Sure.
And, giving me a platform to be able to speak. So thank you a lot.
Yeah, my pleasure. So success for the personal DAO. I can't wait to the alpha launch. Just let us know so we can try it and we can try a platform. Okay.
I'll keep you in the loop. I saw you joined the Discord server. Or somebody from the Crypto 8s team joined the Discord server. And so you're in the right place. That's where all the updates will be. And I'll reach out to you. And when we start to administer personal DAOs to other people, what I'll do is I'll leave one aside specifically for the Crypto 8s team. That way you all can onboard people and start monetizing your community in the form of offering and receiving lines of credit collateralized against your crypto assets.
Sure. Okay. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a great day, Jesse.
You do the same.
Yeah. Bye.
Peace.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.